We have some more special guests here today, and Secretary, read the resolution.
Senate Resolution 768 by Senators Brass, the Sixth, and others, a resolution recognizing and commending the Red Star Foundation and for other purposes. Whereas the Red Star Foundation is an organization focused on fighting against military, veteran, and first responder suicides. And whereas first responders such as police, firefighters, and EMTs face suicide rates significantly higher than the national average due to relentless exposure to trauma, high stress, and the stigma surrounding mental health care. And whereas the Red Star Foundation is committed to helping service members, first responders, veterans, and their families fight against the suicide crisis, focusing every effort, connection, and resource on fighting against military, veteran, and first responder suicides. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate that the members of this body recognize and commend the Red Star Foundation for its unwavering commitment to advocating for mental health and suicide prevention among veterans, military personnel, and first responders. Mr. President, that completes the order.
Is there objection to the resolution? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. If everybody could just quiet down just a little bit here so that you can hear from our senator who wants to introduce our special guest. I know we got a lot of people in here right now, so if y'all could keep your conversations to a minimum, even the ones that can't hear me very well back there. Recognize the senator from the 6th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it's fitting that we have the Secretary of Veterans, the Veterans Administration here with us today for this very special presentation. Mr. President, I rise today to recognize the work of the Red Star Foundation and introduce some very special guests. I have with me a Marine, Mike Constantine, another Marine, Jerry Shaffer, and then my good friend who served in the Army, Mark Darrow. They're here on behalf of the Red Star Foundation, which was founded only a year and a half ago and is dedicated to confronting one of the most urgent and heartbreaking challenges facing our nation, the crisis of suicide among our military personnel, veterans, and first responders. Every day, far too many of those who have served our country and protected our communities struggle with the invisible wounds of trauma and stress. And so leading this important mission is Mr. Jerry Shaffer, the Chief Executive Officer of the Red Star Foundation. And I would like to call him up to tell you a little bit more about Red Star and the crisis that our nation is constantly facing. Mr. Jerry.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Mr. President, members of the Georgia State Senate, distinguished guests, veterans. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. President, members of the Georgia State Senate, distinguished guests, veterans, and families. Also, good morning, Secretary Collins. It's great to see you here as well, especially on this topic of veteran suicide. Standing here today is deeply humbling. On behalf of the Red Star Foundation, the families we serve, and the veterans and first responders whose lives we fight to protect every single day, I want to express our heartfelt gratitude for the adoption of this resolution. I also want to extend a very special thank you to all the co-sponsors and every member who voted for this resolution, and especially Senator Matt Brass. Senator Brass, your leadership in initiating this resolution means more than words can express. You chose to recognize families who are often forgotten. You chose to shine a light on a silent crisis, and you chose to stand with us. I would also like to thank Colonel Mark Darrow, United States Army retired. Thank you for your continued support of our veterans and for spearheading this initiative. Lastly, I would like to thank fellow Marine and Red Star advisor Mike Constantine for initiating the conversation with Colonel Darrow. Every day in this country, we lose veterans and first responders to suicide. 44 veterans per day, 16,000 per year, with another 500 current military and 500 first responders annually. Behind every statistic is a name, a uniform, a family, a story that is unfinished. When the Senate adopted this resolution, you honored those stories. You acknowledged their service to their country and their communities, and you gave hope to the families who carry that loss. In 2024, we launched the Red Star Foundation, utilizing the same blueprint as the Gold Star organizations. Similar to the Gold Star banner, which I am holding here, which is given to the next of kin of a service member who has been killed in action, we created the Red Star banner that is given to the next of kin of military, veteran, and first responder suicide. The Red Star Foundation was founded on a simple belief that no one who served this nation or our communities should ever feel alone in their darkest moment, and no family who loses someone should ever feel forgotten. Our work centers on connection, veteran to veteran, family to family, human to human. Sometimes the difference between life and death is simply knowing someone cares enough to reach out. This resolution strengthens that mission. It tells veterans in Georgia that their state stands behind them. It tells first responders that their sacrifices are recognized. And it tells families that have lost someone that their loved one's service is never forgotten. Georgia has a proud tradition of military service and leadership, from active duty installations to National Guard units to veterans across the great state. Georgia understands service. Today, Georgia also demonstrated that it understands responsibility to care for those who have borne the burden of that service. We are grateful not only for the recognition, but for the partnership we hope that this moment represents. Suicide prevention is not a single organization's mission. It requires communities, lawmakers, faith leaders, nonprofits, neighbors, all working together. It requires courage. The courage to talk about mental health, the courage to ask someone if they are okay, and the courage to act. To the members of the Senate, your action today gives us momentum. It gives us credibility. It opens the door for conversations that save lives and sends a message across Georgia that leadership means protecting not only our borders and our laws, but also our people. Senator Brass, thank you for your compassion and conviction, and to every member here, thank you for standing with us. We accept this resolution with humility, with gratitude, and renewed determination. Because while today is a moment of recognition, tomorrow we go back to work, reaching veterans who feel isolated, connecting first responders who feel overwhelmed, and supporting families who often suffer in silence. Together we can ensure that fewer families receive that devastating phone call. Together we can build a culture where asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And together we can honor their service, not just in words, but in action. On behalf of the Red Star Foundation and the families we serve, thank you, Georgia. We are proud to stand with you. God bless you. God bless the great state of Georgia.